Before I start my video, guys, I just want to say that my monthly pulls video will be coming tomorrow instead of today, and this is because there are a bunch of videos that I'm going to be releasing today. How YouTube works, you can only do 3 videos in a day realistically, and I have got a live stream this evening, so it will be coming tomorrow, just a little bit later than usual, but it is still going to happen. I'm only going to pull 10 times on the 5-star token wheel though, hoping that they're going to update it. I might even just avoid doing certain things like prestige as well, hoping to get some small updates there. But I just thought I'd tell you this information. Now on to the video. Hello survivors, and welcome to another Walking Dead Road to Survival video. In this video we're going to be looking at a new event that's going to be starting later on today, and it is called Enter the Gauntlet. And reading through the intro, it says, "Enter the Gauntlet. Are you ready for the spectacle of spectacles? The Gauntlet has opened its doors to competitors and spectators alike, and it's almost time for the show. Fighters of all levels of skill will be put through their paces and face increasingly challenging odds and fight for the favor of the crowd and the Javelin heads. Think you have what it takes to face the Gauntlet and entertain the crowds? Then you better bring caramel apples to get them on your side." And the event dates are as follows. It starts on Thursday the 1st of October at 9 AM Pacific time, and it ends on Monday the 12th of October at 9 AM Pacific time. There is a breakdown of the event details as well. It says there are 2 new roadmaps that will be coming available. The Apple roadmap for gathering caramel apples, and the Javelin roadmap which requires the caramel apples as energy. The Apple roadmap will award caramel apples for each stage reward and drops more apples as stage drops on the last stage. The Javelin roadmap will require caramel apples as energy, will be split into 3 acts, each requiring a different rarity of fighters to complete. Act 1 will be restricted to 4-star fighters, which will award 1 Javelin head. It costs a total of 30 caramel apples to complete. Act 2 will be restricted to 5-star fighters, which awards 2 Javelin heads, costs a total of 120 caramel apples to complete. Act 3 will be restricted to 6-star and S-class fighters, awards 3 Javelin heads, costs a total of 210 caramel apples to complete. The last stage also has a chance to drop more Javelin heads. Now there are going to be some museum collections where you can trade in your Javelin head collectibles. Collection 1 requires 1 Javelin head collectible, which will obviously be consumed when you trade it in. It rewards 1 5-star character choice box with Negan, Bruce, Rosita or Jesus. All of these characters are 5-star characters. I don't think any of them can be made into 6-star characters. None of them are ascendable. So you would be using these characters effectively in the 5-star sort of parts of the game. 1 S-class choice box, 100 cards total of either Pete, Priya, Arav, Davy, Clementine or Eugene. So quite a few older characters here. It can be harder to come by these characters quite a lot of the time, so not necessarily a bad thing, but for people who have all these characters already or don't want them, it's not really going to add much for them. This has got a stock of 1, so once this is claimed, that's it. The next collection, which is just called Javelin 2, rewards a 6-star character choice box with Martinez, Alice, Bruce and Denise. So a straight up 6-star by the sounds of things. Some of these characters are harder to come by. For instance, I know Martinez hasn't really been made free to play much at all, so he may be picked up by a lot of people. He is also obviously a lacerator, which would work great in Faction Assault if you ever do Faction Assault again. However, Alice is kind of like the 6-star version of S-class Kenny. If you didn't get Kenny, Alice is actually pretty good to take the spot where he would stand. You also get an S-class choice box with 400 cards total of the same characters: Pete, Priya, Arav, Davy, Clementine and Eugene. This costs 3 Javelin head collectibles and it has a stock of 1 also. And then there's the last collection, which is called Javelin 3. It rewards 3 S-class card choice boxes, which is 1,200 cards total. Again, Pete, Priya, Arav, Davy, Clementine and Eugene, but you can claim this up to 6 times. So you can get, well over 6,000, 7,200 cards total. It does consume all of the 6 Javelin heads that you actually need to be able to claim this, but if you manage to claim every single crate here, you'll be able to get just over 7,500 cards of the characters that are in these crates. So maybe not the best cards that are going to be available, but it does look fairly free to play accessible. You are going to be able to farm as many apples as you want by just farming the last stage of the apple roadmaps, and then you can effectively farm the last stage of the Javelin Roadmaps if you want to get Javelin drops on top of that. So this doesn't actually look too terrible. If you want to pick up as many of these cards as possible and you want to go for a particular character, it's good for you. Now I do expect some of you to be a bit annoyed that you have to use 4 stars, 5 stars and 6 stars / S class in different roadmaps, but the last time they did this with the 4 stars, it was just generally really easy. Like, I made a maxed out 4-star team because I went all in. I've still got the team, so I'm going to still use it. But I think I did one region with a maxed out 4-star team. It's fully modded and everything. And then the other one was just, I think, wasn't even leveled up. It was just tier 1, level 1, and it still managed to get through. It was more about accessibility than the fact that you needed to take certain characters. And while it would be cool if they just allowed you to take S classes in those roadmaps anyway, I think they're just trying to make it so that everyone has to talk about what characters you want to take and stuff like that. I don't necessarily think that's a bad thing. It does also utilize characters in your roster that perhaps you wouldn't use otherwise. And we do actually have bigger rosters now because we do not store trainers in our rosters. So you can hold on to, let's say, 5 4 stars, 5 5 stars, and not really be too upset now in terms of how much roster spaces that is going to take up. Out of the characters there, I might actually go for Pete in one region. I still don't have S-Class Pete. I think I've got around about 8,000 cards, and I might just finish him off. Other than that, I don't think I need any of the other characters. Eugene is the only one I don't have. Maybe Davey. I might go for Davey, we'll see. But there isn't anything here that really grabs my attention too much, just based on where my roster is at. But like I said, if you're a bit more newer to the game or your roster isn't has got as much depth, there is some great characters here, and I would definitely recommend going for Prayer if you do not have her. This is very hard to come by her cards, and her cards being given away here is great. Arav is also really good for Survival Road and obviously raids and war and stuff like that, but Survival Road, he's one of the best characters early on. Until it starts getting a bit more difficult, like in the legendary stages or the Nightmare or hard versions of Survival Road, he is one of the best characters for Survival Road without a doubt. So those are my recommendations, and those are my thoughts on the character I'm going to go for. Please leave your thoughts down below. What character are you going to be claiming with those? Are you going to try and farm this as much as possible? This does look like the sort of events we've had in the past with the Whisperers, where we're farming for like the weapons. You know, it was all grey market before though, so they have changed it over to the museum. I'm not sure why they've done that. This doesn't seem too much of a hard grind, at least at face value, but it still could potentially be. I think in total you need to get 40 of the Javelins to be able to claim everything, so we'll have to see how long that's going to take to get. But that is going to be the end of my video, guys. I want to thank you very much for tuning in. And as always, keep on surviving, guys. Keep on surviving.